Namaste viewers and listeners, myself Dr. Brahmdatt Sharma, Associate Professor Komar Bhitya, Shri Shirdi Sai Baba Ayurvedic College, Renwal, Jaipur. Today I am going to talk about pneumonia in children. If you like this video, please click on like button and subscribe my channel. First one is definition. Pneumonia is an infection or inflammatory process of the lower respiratory tract that involves the airway and parenchyma with consolidation of the alveolar spaces. Here the term lower respiratory tract infection is often used to include bronchitis, bronchiolitis or pneumonia. So in this definition the main things are inflammatory process, lower respiratory tract, airways and parenchyma, and consolidation. Some common terms are used in the reference of pneumonia. First one is bronchopneumonia. It is a primarily spreading infection of the terminal bronchioles and their related alveoli. In this picture, the related alveoli and bronchioles are affected. Next is lobar pneumonia, or we can say consolidation. It is a pathological site of the lung where the alveolar air has been replaced by the cellular exudate and transudate. So in this picture only one lobe is affected. Next is interstitial pneumonia. It is characterized by massive proliferation and de-squamation of the alveolar cell and thickening of the alveolar wall. Next is persistent pneumonia. It is defined as persistence of symptoms and radiographic abnormalities of more than 1 month. Next is recurrent pneumonia. It is defined as 2 episodes of pneumonia in a 1 year or more than 3 episodes at any time with radiographic clearance between 2 spots of the illness. So what is the main difference? Persistent pneumonia is continuous pneumonia for 1 month, and recurrent pneumonia, there is recurrency of the pneumonia but there is radiographic clearance between 2 episodes of illness. Next is pneumonitis, a localized inflammation of the lung parenchyma due to non-infectious cause that may or may not be associated with consolidation. So here important thing is non-infectious cause. Next is epidemiology. It occurs most commonly in infants and young children less than 5 years of age. 30% of the children are admitted because of pneumonia. 90% of the death in respiratory illnesses are due to pneumonia. The condition kills an estimated 1.8 million children every year according to WHO. In India, the casualty is high, that is 3 to 4 lakh children. You can see in this pie diagram the maximum patients belong to pneumonia, that is 19%. Then etiology. Etiology mainly depend on the child's age, the bacteria, virus and other infection. In neonate, the common bacteria are Streptococci, E. coli, Klebsiella, Listeria M, Streptococcus aureus. 1 to 3 months, Streptococcus pneumoniae, Staphylococcus aureus, H. influenzae. 4 months to 5 years, Streptococcus pneumonia, Staphylococcus aureus, H. influenza, Streptococcus Klebsiella, Pseudomonas, and Mycobacterium tuberculosis. More than 5 year, Streptococcus pneumonia, Staphylococcus aureus, H. influenza, and Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Then viruses. In neonate, cytomegalovirus, herpes virus. 1 to 3 months of age, cytomegalovirus, respiratory syncytial virus, influenza, parainfluenza. 4 months to 5 years, respiratory syncytial virus, adenovirus, and influenza. More than 5 years, influenza and varicella. Others infections like in neonate, chlamydia. 1 to 3 months, also chlamydia. 4 months to 5 years, mycoplasma, and more than 5 year, mycoplasma, legionella, and M. catarrhalis. These are the common infection for the children. Other rare causes like chemical injury, it may be due to gastric acid, due to regurgitation, or GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. So acid can irritate the respiratory mucosa. Food aspiration, hydrocarbons, and lipoid pneumonia. If we eat something lipid material, it can produce pneumonia. Radiation, parasites, fungi like histoplasma, copstulum. By inhalation of spores, nitrate rich oils from bird droppings, and decaying wood. From pigeon breeders, other fungi is Cryptococcus neoformans. This is by pigeon. Important thing is pathogenesis. When a bacteria or virus infect the lung or lung tissues, the inflammatory response initiated. The result is alveolar edema and exudate formation. Then alveoli and respiratory bronchioles fills with serous exudate, blood cells, fibrins, and bacteria. The overall impression is consolidation of the lung tissue. So this is the basic pathology of the pneumonia. Then clinical features. They are also differentiated according to age. In neonates, the first sign is refusal to feed, lethargy, tachypnea, that is increased respiratory rate, grunting, chest retraction, and cyanosis. At infant age, there is cough, high grade fever, refusal to feed also, lethargy, tachypnea, grunting, retraction, cyanosis, and wheezing with noisy breathing. In preschool age, cough, vomiting, fever, chest pain, and abdominal pain, tachypnea, grunting, and retraction. In older children, there is cough, fever, chest pain, dyspnea, pharyngitis, retraction, tachypnea, cyanosis, and grunting. So these are the clinical features according to age. Tachypnea is most sensitive and specific sign of pneumonia. In age between 0 to 2 months, if respiratory rate or breathing rate is more than 60, in age between 2 months to 12 months, the respiratory rate is more than 50, and between 12 months to 5 years, if respiratory rate is more than 40, this is called pneumonia. So Examination of the respiratory rate is important in case of pneumonia. When we are talking about severity grading in infants, the mild nature is when temperature is below 38.5 degrees Celsius, respiratory rate is less than 50, mild recession, talking full words and taking full feeds. In severe cases, temperature more than 38.5 degrees Celsius, respiratory rate more than 70, moderate to severe recession, nasal flaring, cyanosis, intermittent apnea, grunting, not feeding. This is the sign of severe pneumonia. In older children, when temperature is less than 38.5 degrees Celsius, respiratory rate is less than 50, mild breathlessness and no vomiting, that is mild pneumonia. In severe pneumonia, temperature is more than 38.5 degrees Celsius, respiratory rate is more than 50, severity in breathing, nasal flaring, cyanosis, grunting, sign of dehydration. So these sign of severity. Some classifications are described in different literature on anatomical basis. The classification is lobar pneumonia, alveolar pneumonia and bronchopneumonia. Infectious and non-infectious basis. Non-infectious basis is mainly foreign body or aspiration. Infectious cause may be bacterial, viral or fungal. On attack basis, primary pneumonia or secondary pneumonia. WHO classification of the acute respiratory infection in children presenting with cough or difficulty in breathing. So the word pneumonia is used here. The term no pneumonia, or we can say only cough and cold. If respiratory rate is less than 50 in infant 2 month to 11 month, is less than 40 in children between 12 month to 5 years, and no lower chest indrawing, this is called no pneumonia. Only we can say that is cough and cold. Non-severe pneumonia, when respiratory rate is more than 50 in infant 2 month to 11 month, more than 40 children between 12 month to 5 years, and no lower chest indrawing, that is non-severe pneumonia. In severe pneumonia, lower chest indrawing with or without rapid breathing. Okay, so chest indrawing is in severe pneumonia. In very severe disease, the patient is unable to drink, convulsions, abnormally sleepy or difficulty in waking, stridor in calm child, or clinically severe malnutrition. So this is the classification according to WHO. Another classification is typical and atypical pneumonia. In typical pneumonia, there is sudden onset and atypical gradual onset. In typical pneumonia, there is productive, purulent or bloody sputum, and in atypical pneumonia, there is non-productive, only scanty mucoid sputum. Typical pneumonia, there is high fever. In atypical, low grade fever. In typical pneumonia, evident local signs, and atypical pneumonia, there is minimal local signs. In typical pneumonia, there is myalgia and headache is uncommon. In atypical pneumonia, myalgia and headache is common. In typical pneumonia, there is focal alveolar or lobar infiltration in chest X-ray. In atypical pneumonia, there is diffuse interstitial infiltrates in chest X-ray. Typical pneumonia, leukocytosis is common. In atypical pneumonia, leukocytosis is uncommon. This is the classification of pneumonia. What is the main difference between bacterial and viral pneumonia? First one is onset. There is acute onset in bacterial pneumonia and gradual in viral pneumonia. Epidemic pattern found in viral only. Course is progressive in bacterial, not self-limiting, and viral is self-limiting. Temperature is more high in bacterial with chills, and in viral there may be fever or no. Toxemia is more in bacterial, in viral may or may not be. Respiratory distress is more in bacterial pneumonia. In viral pneumonia, it is only present in infants. Associated upper respiratory tract infections are brief in bacterial pneumonia, and in viral pneumonia there is several days. Wheeze is present always in viral pneumonia. In bacterial pneumonia it may be present or it may not be. Crackles are present in bacterial pneumonia. In viral pneumonia it may be or may be not. When we are talking about radiological findings, in bacterial pneumonia there is confluent infiltrates. In viral pneumonia there is diffuse. Pleural involvement in bacterial pneumonia, not in viral. Hyperinflation in bacterial pneumonia, pneumatocele in bacterial pneumonia. So overall, bacteria, I think that is difficult to treat than viral. Then diagnosis. The diagnosis of pneumonia can be done only by clinical features like respiratory rates and auscultation. In lab investigation, we can prescribe CBC. In CBC, there is increased WBC count, that is more than 15,000 cell per mmQ, with polymorphonuclear leukocytosis in bacterial infection. Lymphocytic predominance may be seen in viral pneumonia. ESR increased in bacterial infections. When WBC count is less than 5000 cell per mmQ or febrile neutropenia, that shows bad prognosis. Next investigation is culture. Sputum culture and immunofluorescent antibody testing may be useful. Nasopharyngeal aspirate for viral antigen can be done. Imaging study is very important. You can see there is dense opacity with the right upper lobe of the lung. There are also air bronchogram lines. You can see in this picture, first picture. There is increase in the number of bronchovascular markings. There is some loss of definition of the upper right heart border. You can see in first picture. Next, lower left one is for lobar pneumonia and right is one for bronchopneumonia. Other useful tests are Montague's test to diagnose pneumonia due to microbacterial tuberculosis. So for differential diagnosis it is useful. Cold agglutinin test It is helpful in mycoplasmal infection. Pleural fluid aspiration and culture if there is fluid in the space surrounding the lungs. ABG, arterial blood gas, to needful for oxygenating blood. Differential diagnosis of the recurrent pneumonia, like hereditary disorders, cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, disorders of the immunity, AIDS, A gamma globulinemia, selective IgG subclass deficiency, common variable immunodeficiency syndrome, disorders of leukocytes, hyperimmunoglobulin E syndrome, leukocyte adhesion defect, immotile cilia syndrome, anatomic disorders like sequestration, lobar emphysema, aspiration, foreign body, tracheoesophageal fistula, mainly H type, gastroesophageal reflux disease, bronchiectasis. Risk factor for the pneumonia mnemonic is inspiration, immunosuppression, neoplasia, secretion retention, pulmonary edema, impaired alveolar macrophages, respiratory tract infection, antibiotics and cytotoxics, tracheal instrumentation, IV drug abuse, neurologic impairment of cough reflex. Complications are pleural effusions, empyema, pneumonic effusions, lung abscess, pneumothorax, hematocele, delayed resolution, respiratory failure, metastatic septic lesions, activation of latent tuberculosis. Then important thing is management. First one is oxygen therapy. If there is grunting, flaring of nasal alveoli, severe tachypnea and retraction, oxygen should be used. Antibiotics, choice by culture and sensitivity test. Analgesic and antipyretic, acetaminophen, paracetamol in fever and pain. IV fluid, mainly glucose 5% with hydrocortisone. Codeine phosphate 15 to 30 mg per kg per day 6 hourly. Sedatives like diazepam 2 to 5 mg. Hot fermentation on chest. Nasovian nasal drops 2 to 5 drops. Needful symptomatic treatment. So this is the principle of the management. Main therapy in the pneumonia is antibiotic. So antibiotic choice is penicillin, first line agent in children in whom pneumococcal infection. Limited activity against gram negative bacteria due to resistance. We can use ampicillin, penicillin, crystalline penicillin, amoxicillin. Cephalosporin, first generation, useful against gram positive organism, and Proteus mirabilis, H. influenzae, E. coli, Klebsiella, Moraxella catarrhalis. Main is cefuroxime 30 to 50 mg per kg per day. BD, IV dose is 150 to 200 mg per kg per day. TDS. Cephalosporin, second generation, useful against gram positive organism. Third generation, broad spectrum antibiotic having gram negative activity. Main is cefotaxime 50 to 100 mg per kg per day. BD. Prevention is easy through vaccination, mainly Haemophilus influenza B vaccine, pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. These are prescribed at 6, 10, 14 week schedule. Pneumonia is a possible complication of measles. Thus, prevention of measles would decrease the incidence of pneumonia. According to WHO, in 40 developing countries, these vaccination will prevent 7 million deaths by 2030. So vaccination is very important. Thank you very much. If you like this video, please click on like and bell button and subscribe my channel for other interesting videos. Thank you.